It's time to round out predictions for the last 16 second leg, and we will see who will be the final four sides into this season's Champions League quarter-finals. Some of these ties are in the balance, so let's not waste any time and jump right into it. The first game we're looking at is Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid. Tied at 1-1 after the first leg. Not a great game. But two great goals in it really, which kind of bookended the match. The first goal from João Felix, a superb header, and really you feared that Manchester United could get dead and buried. I'm sure their fans did after that goal went in, and really Atletico will be ruin their missed chances. Really, they hit the bar a couple of times, but it was Man United who eventually grew into the game and finished the game stronger. Fine ball by Bruno Fernandes and the young upstart, the rising star Elanga from Manchester United with a fine finish, although a dodgy bit of goalkeeping by Olbach in the Atletico Madrid goal. Doesn't make too many mistakes, but his positioning was a bit poor in that one. But as this is a really toss of a coin one, really, isn't it? I mean, Old Trafford will be a real fever pitch atmosphere, you would imagine, but Atletico Madrid do not care about things like that. We've seen them go to Anfield and get results. It's almost like adversity just brings the best out of this side, and I just expect this one to be a very, very difficult tie, which could go either way and could even go all the way to extra time and penalties. But I have a funny feeling Man United are going to do the job. I have a funny feeling Man United are going to go quite deep in this year's Champions League. It looks like they're not going to get anywhere close to getting Champions League through the league now, unless Arsenal pretty badly slip up, or Chelsea might do, you never know. But the only avenue could be through this Champions League, which doesn't look likely, but I just have a funny feeling. And I have a funny feeling in this game, Ronaldo back in form after what we saw against Spurs, Ronaldo with his history against Atletico Madrid. I think Man United will get through this tie. I'm going to go for a very narrow 2-1 Manchester United win, which gives them a 3-2 win overall. I'm probably going to get a lot of crap from that because Aleti fans are pretty passionate, but that is just what I think. Ajax versus Benfica is the second game here. This one is tied at 2-2 after a brilliant game in the first leg. I thought this one might be a bit of a cracker when I did predictions for the first leg as well. I did think Ajax would win the game though, so Benfica being level is a big, better than what I expected they would have at this stage. You have to kind of fancy Ajax to get the job done at home. But again, it's two sides that are very, very good going forward and create a lot of chances. Sebastian Haller, hero and villain in the game for Ajax with an own goal, but then came back with a nice goal as well. Dusan Tadic with a fine finish in there too. Really, this was a bit of a classic Champions League tie. You had two sides who were just going for it. You had two sides that were very good in transition at changing from defence to attack, and it made for a very entertaining, dare I say, basketball-esque game. And the winning goal really was a bit strange because it came from an Ajax player. It came from Juran Timber diving quite blatantly in the box when he had a chance to shoot on the edge of the area, which meant Benfica then charged up the pitch. Shot came in from distance, which the Ajax keeper Pasveer could only really palm up into the air. He should have done better, but there was a bit of swerve on it, and he had ended up just palming it up in the air, which meant Yaramchuk could just come in and have a bit of a tap in to make it 2-2. But it wasn't. You couldn't say either side didn't deserve something from the game, and so it's probably quite fitting it's just going to be settled in a kind of a one-off shootout. I thought Rafa Silva was excellent for Benfica on the wing, and like back, he really is like a winger really. Mazwari for Ajax was exceptional as well, so expect another bit of a ding-dong battle in Amsterdam, and this one really could go either way, but I am going to go for Ajax. I'm going to go for the main man, Sebastian Haller, who has scored in every Champions League game so far this season. What an effort. Let's see if he can bring up 8 in a row of getting his 8th consecutive goal in the Champions League game. And I'm going to go for an Ajax 3-2 win, which gives an unbelievable 5-4 win overall. Make sure you watch this game, or at the very least check out the highlights. You won't be disappointed. And the final deadlocked game of this week's Champions League is Juventus versus Villareal. And again, you've got two sides which are so evenly matched. They even played the same formation, and it was unreal how similar they were. It's 1-1 from the first leg. Juventus got a goal after 30 seconds. Their young Serbian striker, Vlahovic, looks a great asset. What a great future he has. A fine goal. He looked really good, really powerful all the way through the game as well. But you just cannot write Villareal off. They are like the proverbial roadrunner. They just do not go down. They never know when they're beat. And it is quite astonishing that the club of this size is fighting on such an elite level. And I know a lot of people say that all the time, but it is quite incredible when the size of the town is so small and yet they're competing against like the world's best clubs. And part of that is just down to the spirit that they have running right the way through it. You look at Unai Emery, a manager that's has been much maligned and much written off in the past, and a lot like Villareal. How many times have they been written off in games in Europe? And Manchester United, we thought Arsenal would probably beat them over 2 legs. We thought Man United would beat them in the final. We probably thought they might go out in the group stage, but they always find a way. Even in the Super Cup against Chelsea, they pushed Chelsea all the way in that one to penalties, and I have a feeling this one's going to go all the way to penalties as well. And this is going to be, I backed them in the first leg, and they didn't let me down. I backed them to get the draw when a lot of people were fancying Juve, and I have a feeling that Villareal are going to really enjoy playing in the Allianz Stadium. I think they're going to relish the cauldron-like atmosphere and use it to their advantage. And I think this one, as I say, is going to go to all the way to penalties. And I think Villareal come through on pens after a 1-1 draw to cause the shock of the round. And the final game we look at, the final 2 sides battling it out for the quarterfinals, is Lille versus Chelsea. I've been informed it's not Lille, it is Lille. We're done with that joke. We move on. It's 2-0 to the Blues after the first leg, and this does feel a little bit done and dusted, doesn't it? 2 great goals, very nice goals from Chelsea, and a very controlled, measured victory. Kai Havertz, who is in fine form, scored a really nice goal, and if you saw his goal he scored today against Newcastle, should he have been on the pitch? That's another story for a Premier League video somewhere down the line, but great form for Havertz, certainly showing the sort of form I saw him showing at Leverkusen before he came to the Premier League. Pulisic got the second for Chelsea in the second half, but this story, like a lot of what Chelsea stories are going to be, is going to be overshadowed by things that are going on off the pitch, and that is really Lille's best chance. Whether Chelsea have kind of got their eye off the ball, it's a constant distraction. You wonder just how long that's going to go on before the players are going to be a bit fed up with it, and it is going to be a bit of a case of them being distracted and maybe not being at their best, because Lille's form has upturned a little bit from the first leg. They had a couple of good performances in the French league, but you would still fancy Chelsea to be able to be too strong for this Lille side. But if Lille can score the first goal in this game, it could be quite interesting. It could be a very nervy night for Chelsea. But you have to feel that Chelsea are going to get the job done. It may be later on that we start to see more of the impact of the sanctions and the asset freezes that is happening around there. And it's really not a good situation for fans, players, or Thomas Tuchel to deal with, or any of the staff. So not easy, but I do think the Blues are the final side through to the quarterfinal, which makes a very strong group of 8. And a strong showing from the English sides as well, with 4 English sides out of the 8 being in there. I think it's going to be a 3-1 win for Chelsea, which will give them a 5-1 commanding victory overall. And before my voice dies out on me, that will do it. That will finally do it. Finally, it seems like a never-ending round of last 16, but we've got to the end of it now. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoy these games. So give your comments down below. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. And I'll be back very soon for more content. Thanks for watching.